Module 10 floor plan drawing 3. We're going to create a drawing of this conference room table. And we'll create it on layer 0, and then we'll insert it into our drawing. So let's get started. We've got a radius of 15 feet, and then we've got this 30 foot, and then we've got an 8 foot. And so as we go through and create this shape, what we're going to do is we're going to create a rectangular shape to enclose that area, and then we'll put the arcs on it. So here's our current drawing, and we've been putting our furniture over here. This time we're going to draw it on layer 0. We're going to start off with a line, and we're going to set that line to be 30 inches. We're going to go 8 feet. Back to our starting point. We can verify that. Quick dimension. Looks right. And then we're going to put a 15-foot arc with a radius of 0. And I think what I'll do is I'll draw start end radius arc. Start point, end point, and then the radius will be 15 feet. I had a feeling it was going to go that way. When you create arcs, it likes counterclockwise selection points. And then we'll just mirror that. From this midpoint. These should be on the same layer, so I'm going to match property layer 0. And then I'm going to take out these 2 lines. Right. We can verify with another dimension just to make sure that we have the width of the table correct. That's 30 inches, so that's correct. And then we can check the radius. The radial dimension. And just like on the other drawing, we can override the properties to put an arrowhead on that. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a block of it called conference table. And so we don't need the dimensions as part of that block. We'll go to the Insert tab, Create Block. Choose a base point. I'm just going to choose a midpoint right here. Select our objects. Hit enter. And hit OK. All right. So that's our base conference table block, floor plan conference table block. And then what it wants us to do is to insert that block into the drawing, explode it, and then to use the divide command to locate the chairs around the perimeter. So let's get started with that. I'm going to move over here to the conference room. These are all going to be off to the side when we look at the floor plan drawing. I'll have to move those a little bit more so that they don't interfere with my current. We are. And then as we take a look at inserting this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert it here using the insert command. There's the conference table. And when we insert that, we'll insert that on the layer for furniture. And then we'll put what it wants us to do is to explode that. And then it wants us to use the divide command to be able to put these chairs on it. And so when you use the divide command, what it will do is it will break this it'll divide it into an even increment. And so we would need 1, 2, 3, 4 for our increment level. And what we want to do is we want to select the point style. And we may need 5 on that. I'm not 100% sure. I like to just put them in and then take a look at how it looks rather than to figure the math out right away. So we'll go to the divide command. We'll select the divide command. This is measure and this is divide. We'll select this line to divide. Number of segments, let's try 4. And then I made the point style too big. So let's go back to point style. And let's make that 0.1. It's too small. Let's go back again. There we go. And so that worked great. So we'll have one chair here, another chair here, and another chair here. So again, we'll go and divide this other line. Select it. Number of three segments. Excuse me, was that 4? Then we'll put the chair in. And so we'll come back here and we'll put the chair at each of those points. And then we can rotate that as we work with that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this exactly on that node. Same with this one. And that way it'll be perfect. It's the problem with these toolbars. They don't always collapse unless you have a good graphics card. And then I'm just going to take these and I'm going to offset this or move it. Let's copy it. And we'll move that 1 foot away from the table. And then we'll take these other ones out. And then we can rotate these just slightly. It's a little far from the desk, so I think I'll move this in 6. That looks better. And then if we just tweak these a little bit, you can click on them, grab the grip, and then if you hit the space bar twice, it'll go into rotate mode, and you can then rotate it to be somewhat even with the table. Quite, and I'm going to turn off my polar. It seems to be resisting because of that. But then mirror that geometry. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's nice if it is, but this is our first CAD course, and it's just a furniture plan. We'll mirror this about the midpoint to the midpoint. Move it a little bit closer. We'll add 2 more chairs, and then we'll rotate it into the position that they have shown here. And I'll mirror that rather than to do it again. Right. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to rotate that so that it looks like the textbook. I'm going to turn off the dimension layer just so I can see, and I'll probably move that dimension or suppress it. And so what I'll do is I will rotate this, select the geometry, hit enter, give it a rotation point. And then as I turn it, you can just kind of make it look about right. And then we can move it. I Put the dimensions back on. I may need to move one. Seems to be okay. And that completes video for this exercise.